In this part, the second part of the How I Draw Eyes tutorial, I'll be showing you how I add more detail and really change the look of the eye from basic into a more advanced, more finished looking eye. So first I'll come over and work on the tear duct, the innermost part of the eye. Just get a kind of a better shape for that. Start adding in the iris details. Now this is going to be really rough here because I'm going to blend this in eventually, so it won't have this very defined look to it, because the iris is a very weird part of the eye, and it's difficult to draw, or can be difficult to draw. We'll go ahead and darken the pupil in. Now you can color this in solid, or you can color it mostly solid and then come back and blend it. It's up to you. Just make sure that it's round. Okay. And then working on the top eyelid, making that pretty bold. And bringing some shading down a little bit onto the surface of the eye. And then also a little bit to the fold on the upper eyelid into the brow. Now you can also start to rough in the eyebrow above this. Just so you have it placed. Do a little shading underneath. And then I'm going to use a blending tool for this part. So whereas if you're shading with pencil and paper and not using a blending tool, then you'll want to be a little more particular on where you put your shading. And then just working everything together on the innermost part of the eye. Blend all your shading in on the outside of the eye. With the blending, you can get rid of most of the strays. But if you need to, just come back and erase them. And remember, when you're drawing, just don't press too hard, so that way you can come back and correct some of your mistakes, and it won't leave anything on the paper. Okay. And then for the pupil, if you want to, you can come in and add more of a shine to that, and then blend around it a little bit so that it's not such a contrast. But you could always leave it contrasting if you want to. And then now for the iris, come back and add a lot more detail to that. I like to add more detail to the very outside and inside. Instead of just drawing straight lines all the way out throughout the iris. But you can come back in and blend a lot of those in just to give it some texture. Fix the outside of the iris. Any last additions that you want to add to it. Or you could just keep working this continuously as much as you want. And add some details to the lower eyelid. Then we'll do this, and then the upper eyelid. And then, so we're doing this, we want to make sure that we get everything done before we put the eyelashes on there. That way all of our blending is done. Any last shading that you want to get in there. And then for the eyelashes, what I'll come in and do on the bottom is just irregular spacing. And pretty short. And then for the upper eyelashes, do those longer and more uniform across the eye. If you add more if you want, less, it's up to you. Some really long ones at the end. And then last part, working on the eyebrow. You kind of blend that in and then come back and put more hairs on top of it. And that's how I draw eyes. I hope this helped, and I look forward to the next video. Thanks for watching.